Great. So I think it's 8 a.m. So we'll get started. So again, I'm just going to have you come onto your backs. If you're just coming onto the stream, so you're just going to walk your heels to about the edges of your mat. You can let your toes splay, arms alongside, a little tuck under of your shoulders, a little tuck of the chin so the neck is long. Good. And then just start here by just closing your eyes. Good. Take a nice long inhale through your nose. And just an easy exhale through your nose. Good. Breathe in, let your belly expand. And exhale, just let your belly soften. Just gonna let some more people in the class here. Good. So we just really want to focus to start on just finding that connection with your breath. So that is what is always going to move you through a yoga class. That focus on your inhales, finding the very, very top of the breath, and your exhales, just moving to the very bottom of that breath. You know, working out or doing yoga from home is not an ideal situation for most of us. For most of us, we'd rather be at the gym or be in a studio where we can like really get into what we're doing and really focus, have other people around us doing the same. So just try your best here to really tune out any distractions. Like if you're focusing on any sounds you're hearing or things going on around you at home, just really try to find that calm in your mind. So I usually just try to focus on the way my breath sounds, especially in my home practice. Sort of notice the way your breath feels as it moves in and out through your body. So maybe notice the places that are sort of lifting and rising. Maybe notice places where you're feeling extra tense when you inhale, across the chest or between the ribs. And then on your exhales, just really trying to soften away that tension. So actually consciously release, loosen your jaw, your forehead, your eyes. And you really want to feel like the mat and a surface beneath you is supporting the weight of your body. So there's really no effort in Shavasana. You're just laying, resting, and breathing. So just take a few more cycles of breath here in stillness. And then from Shavasana, you're just going to start to slowly rock your head side to side. So just really, really slow. Try to get your ear closer towards the mat each time. So start to feel your neck, start to feel your shoulders. Good, and as you bring your gaze back through center, start to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, circle your wrists and your ankles. Just get out any of those cracks or snaps here. And start to walk your heels together at the back of the mat. You're going to reach the arms overhead. Take an inhale as you find a full body stretch. Get as long as you can here. And exhale, just let the body relax. Good, one more like that. Inhale, reach. Exhale, soften. Good, so let's bring the feet onto the floor and then start to draw your knees in toward your chest. So you're just going to wrap the arms right around the shins. Again, retuck your chin here so the neck is long. Good, then just gently starting to hug the thighs in. So we always want to link our movements with breath in yoga. So even if they're really small movements. So for example, when we're here on your inhale, you can sort of let your thighs come away from the belly. Feel your low back press down. And then on your exhale, squeeze the thighs in tight. Good, so breath in, lengthen the spine, find that bit of space. Exhale, squeeze. Good, one more here, deep breath in. Easy, slow breath out. Let's keep our right knee hugged in. Extend your left leg out long. So interlace the hands on top of your right shin. And you want to get really active through your left leg. So the toes are curled back to the face. Your leg is nice and strong and straight. Good. And again, those little movements with breath. So this time, inhale, push out through the bottom of your left foot. Exhale, squeeze the right thigh in. Good. Long inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze. You can stay like that, or if you need a bit more movement, you can start to circle out through your right hip. So just nice big circles. Go a couple times both directions, or you can just sort of slide the thigh from side to side. So just find a bit of movement with breath. It feels good for that right side. I'm just waking up the hips here. All right, and from here, you're just going to bring your left hand to the outside of the right thigh. Start to draw the thigh across, just a little twist. So it's going to be different for everyone depending on your range of motion. And we don't want to go too far into a twist first thing in the morning or when we're just starting our practice. So just about the halfway point until you feel a bit of a stretch in the low back. Now, often when we come into a twist, your opposite shoulder, you probably feel that it wants to lift off of the mat. So just check in with that. Heavy through both of the shoulders. Keep that connection. And if your practice maybe is a little more advanced or you're more flexible, this is where a block can be nice and handy. You just place that block down and you can rest your knee right onto it. But really important, you don't want to force yourself into a twist. So you're just coming to your range of motion, easy cycles of breath from there. I'll take about 3 more here. Okay, so at the end of the third, just slowly start to rise back through center. You're going to hug that right knee in one more time. Nice big squeeze here. And then step your right foot down onto the mat. So your left leg is still long, right foot is planted. Now just let your right knee fall open. So this is your reclined tree pose. I like to reach my arms up overhead in this pose, hold on to opposite wrists or elbows, but just do whatever's comfortable. So you can tee the arms out, you can take your hands to your stomach, to your hips. And if you've got a lot of tension in the outside of your right hip or even the inside of your right thigh, again, block or a cushion or a book, you just place that underneath that right thigh. So you're just bringing the floor up towards you. And really no effort required in reclined tree pose. You're just sort of letting gravity do the work for you. If you feel like you're clenching, try to let that go. Just relax the muscles and breathe here. And about 3 more cycles of breath. Okay, so at the end of the third breath, just help that right knee come back through center. And now extend the right leg long. So both of your legs are extended. Just hold here just for a moment. Good, now let's step both feet onto the floor again. Knees pull into the chest, arms around the shins. We're just here to reset. And maybe a little rock back and forth. You might feel a little uneven since we've only done the right side. So let's head into the left side, left knee in, right leg long. Switch the grip with the hands. Good, and right away, finding those little movements. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, use the strength in your biceps. Just gently squeeze the thigh in. Good, breath in, find that space. Exhale, squeeze. And always option to layer on a little more movement. Circle the hip or slide the thigh side to side. All right, and as you come back just through center, this time right hand to the outside of your left thigh, and then start to find that twist, just drawing the thigh across. And watch that left shoulder, maybe extend the left arm away from the body. You can turn the gaze to the left if that feels okay on the neck. If not, just keep the gaze right up above you. And try to really fill up the low belly here. So expanding all the way. Exhale, you're softening. All right, come back on your inhale. Draw that left knee in one more time as you exhale, squeeze. And then step your left foot down. This time, left knee falls open, recline tree. Maybe do something different with your hands, your arms this time. Okay, and keep in mind, it's always going to feel a little bit different from side to side. So depending on which hand or which side rather is your dominant side. For me, I'm right-handed, but my left side is much tighter just because I really don't use it as much as my right, so it's not as open. So you may need to modify or use a block on one side, and that's totally fine. The goal is with the more that we work out and the more that we practice yoga, we're sort of creating more of a balance in our body. Yeah, so just a few more cycles of breath here. Good, so draw the belly in. Again, carefully just help your left knee come back through center and extend the left leg in line with the right. Just land here. Just notice the way your lower body feels, any sensations through the hips. Good. So moving on, let's just step the feet onto the floor. And just a couple more before we come onto our front. So let's extend the sole of that right foot up. So just like you're standing on the ceiling, you can either take your hands, just interlace them on the back of your thigh. If you do have a strap or a belt, something long, you can take that and you're just going to loop it around the arch of the foot. Good, so slide the hands down the strap or you're just interlacing. We want our shoulders to be relaxed here. This is my cat Alice. You'll probably see him running in and out of the video that I'm teaching. Okay. So you're looking for a stretch in the back of the thigh or hamstring. And keep in mind, you don't have to have a super straight leg here. You can bend the knees, especially if you're feeling any pulling behind your knee. And for some, it's more comfortable to have their opposite leg extended. So just whatever feels best. Most of us are pretty tight in our hamstrings. So just easing your way into this, not being too forceful or putting yourself in a position where you can't keep your breath really fluid and smooth. Good. So on the breath in, really try to push down through the back of your right hip. On your exhale, draw that leg in a little bit closer. Good. You're just going to stay there. Just going to do a time check here. And then something I find, especially if you are newer to yoga and you keep hearing the instructor say, breathe into that area. So you really actually literally want to focus on your breath going into the muscle that you're stretching. So sort of have to create a bit of a visualization in your mind. So you're inhaling, you're filling up, and picture that breath, that exhale breath going right into the back of your leg. Even try to picture the muscle releasing, the muscle softening. So it's really that mind-body connection in yoga. Okay, so take about 3 more cycles of breath here. So at the end of your third breath, if you're using the strap, you're just going to release. If you're using your hands, just release your hands. And now turn your toes out to the right. So you're externally rotating your thigh. Place your left foot onto the mat and come into your figure 4 shape. So right ankle, top of left leg. So for some of you, if you're tight in the hips, you might already feel this. You can stay right here. What you're going to do is just place your right hand to the inside of your thigh and just gently guide your knee away from the body. If you're not feeling that at all, start to lift your left foot up. So right into thread the needle, and you don't have to reach the arms through. You can have your arms alongside if you like, or you can reach through. But something you need to watch for, if you're reaching through, have your shoulders lifted, has your neck and your head lifted. If they are, you've gone a bit too far. So come back. You can use your strap and you just loop it around the back of the leg. So the strap is just going to add a bit of length to your arms. Good. We want to keep the right foot flexed here to protect the knee. And if you're someone who is more open in the hips, you don't really feel much in this, try pressing your foot into your thigh and your thigh back into your foot. Good, so you should feel that a little bit more in your right hip, maybe the outside of your thigh, a bit into the glute. Good, so on your inhales, you're lengthening down through the low back, so find that connection. Exhale, just gently squeeze the left thigh to the left shoulder. Good, breath in, looking for space. Exhale, deepen. Just a few more here. Okay, now carefully lower both feet down. If you want, you can give your knees a bit of a sway side to side, just reset. And then coming back through center, left foot reaches up. So hands on the back of the thigh or strap around the foot. Good, curl those left toes back to the face, again, like you're standing on the ceiling. Soften the knee if you need to. Good, and then just start to find that connection with your breath. Inhale, pressing the back of the hip down. Exhale, deepen. So whether you're getting longer through your leg or you're pulling your leg in closer. So just find what works best. And sending the exhales directly into the belly of your hamstring. So right into the center of that muscle. Good. Here for about 3 more. End of the third, just releasing hands or releasing strap. Good. Keep the leg extended. Turn the toes out to the left. Bend the knee, ankle to top of thigh. So you, again, figure 4 shape. And then just setting up your thread the needle. So whatever that looks like. Also, another modification for thread the needle. If you don't feel like you're getting a stretch here, if this feels like too much, you can take a block or a book, any sort of platform. And what you would do is just slide it so your right foot can rest onto it. So you're creating a bit of a lift for that foot, and then you're not having to reach through to create shoulders or tension in your shoulders rather. So more of a passive version, but you're still getting a little bit of something in that left hip. So for me, again, my left side is super, super tight. So I usually always have to modify my left side. And just find that connection with your breath. And take about 3 or 4 more breaths here. Good. So at the end of your last breath, again, no rush. Just place both feet carefully onto the mat and give your knees a sway back and forth. And hopefully everything feels even on both sides here. And then just start to reach your right arm overhead. And you're going to roll onto the right side. I'm going to roll onto my left so I'm not facing my back towards you. So onto your right side, and just let your head rest onto your bicep. Sort of in the fetal position here. Just take a couple nice easy breaths right into your back body. So feeling your back body expand on your inhale. Feel that right side get heavier on your exhale. And then when you feel ready, you're just going to press your left hand into the floor, come up and heading into a wide-legged child's pose. So you're going to bring your knees about mat distance, big toes come together, sit onto your heels, and then walk yourself down. So if that's not accessible, and if you have a block or a cushion, you're just going to place that between the feet. And again, that just lifts the mat up to you. You can sit right onto the block. If you're not sitting onto a block and you're tighter through your upper body, you can take your block in front of you, rest your forehead down. Good. So just taking a few easy breaths here into your child's pose. And this is just a great pose to come back to in any yoga class if you ever need just to take a break, or you need a moment to find your breath. The head below the heart just brings that calming response to your body. Resting the forehead. Okay, now start to make this a little more active. So you're going to walk your hands more forward. Press your hips further back to your heels. So like you're trying to create as much space as you can here between the hands and the hips. Now from your child's pose, walk both of your hands to the left side of your mat. Stack the right hand on top. Good. Keep the forehead down. I'm just going to keep my head lifted so you can hear me talking. Keep the forehead resting, and then really push back and down through that right hip. So you want to feel the stretch all the way along the right side. Good. Now come back through center and then all the way to the right side. Left hand on top, forehead is resting. Good. Make your way back through center. Spread the fingers wide, press into the hands, and then just come forward into a tabletop position. So plant the wrists underneath the shoulders. Your knees are stacked under your hips. You can have your toes tucked or untucked, whatever's comfortable. Now on the breath in, start to drop your belly down. Scoop through your low back, press the heart forward, and lift the gaze. This is your cow pose. On the exhale, start to round through the spine. Good, moving into cat pose. So think of an angry cat pressing between the shoulder blades up to the ceiling, drop the head. Good, inhale, start to lift the gaze, belly drops, scooping through your lower back. Heart presses forward, chin lifts. And exhale, slowly rounds. Good, breathe in, lift up. Exhale, rounds. Do 3 more, just like that. Good, so at the end of your third breath, just come back to a neutral spine. And then you're just going to sit onto your heels, or you can sit onto your block or something different. Just my camera here. We just have a few minutes left, about 5 minutes. So I'm just going to end with some, excuse me, some upper body stuff. Just want to sit so you're comfortable. And you can sit onto a cushion. You can sit onto your block, just whatever. And just start to settle in and place your hands just on your thighs. You always want ears on top of shoulders, shoulders on top of hips. So a little bit of activation through the belly. So belly hugs in. Good. Come right back to that breath. Drop the chin to the chest. Let your head be heavy. And then just start to rock the head side to side. Good, again, just feeling the neck, feeling the shoulders. Next time that left ear comes to left shoulder, hold there. Just extend the right arm. Good, you can sort of drop the chin closer down toward the chest, maybe feel a bit of a deeper stretch. Just sort of play around with the position of your chin. Good, back through center, over to the opposite side. Left arm reaches. Good, come back through center one more time, just that little rock side to side. Then bring the gaze back up. You're gonna reach your arms forward, interlace your fingers. So your arms are out in front of you, nice big bend in the elbows, almost like you're hugging a really big beach ball right in front of your chest. Bring your chin down, and without actually separating the hands, try to find that action of pulling your hands apart. So you want to feel a bit of a separation between your shoulder blades. Good, so nice stretch for the upper back here. You can lean back a little bit to deepen. Good, release that. Now reach behind you and interlace your hands. Press the knuckles to the wall behind you. Press your heart forward. Good, so you should feel that across the front of the body. This is a good one to do first thing in the morning. It's really energizing. And many of us do spend a lot of our time with our shoulders sort of hunched forwards, our heads down, whether you work at a desk or You're on your phone a lot. So just a nice way to release that. And do that for about 5 to 10 breaths every morning. Good. Come out of that slowly. Give the shoulders a roll. Good. So a couple of times one way, and then switch directions. And just a couple more poses to finish. So from seated, if you were sitting onto a block, just remove that block. So a little bit of just an easy twist. Take your left hand and bring it just right behind your left hip. Right hand comes to the outside of the left thigh. Take a breath in, lengthen your spine. And on the exhale, draw the belly in, twist to the left. Good. Inhale, grow taller. Exhale, draw the belly in, twist. One more like that. Breath in. Breath out. Come back through center and switch. So right hand behind the right hip, left hand to the outside of the right thigh. Take a breath in, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Good. Easy inhale, grow taller. Exhale, open. One more, deep breath in. Deep breath out. Good. So our last pose here, you're going to come back through center and take the soles of your feet together. I'm just going to move so you can see. So soles of feet are together just out in front of you. This is cobbler's pose, and you're going to hold on to the tops of your feet. Good. So we want a tall spine, so try to avoid doing this. So keep the length, take a breath in, and exhale. Come to the point only where you can keep a flat back. So if you start to fold forward and you see yourself do this, you've gone too far. Come back up, roll the shoulders back. Good. So good for the inner thighs, the hips, the low back. That's about 3 or 4 breaths here. Okay, now carefully just start to rise up. We're just going to end passively, so slide the heels away from you. Now just let your upper body round, let your head hang. Just a nice release for the lower back. All right, and slowly start to round up. Bring your hands to the outsides of your thighs. Good. Walk your feet in closer to the body. Wrap the arms around the shins. Bring your chin to your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Send yourself a bit of gratitude for coming onto your mat this morning, for doing something good for yourself. You can end your practice here if you like. Maybe you want to come back down to your mat and lay in your Shavasana. But that is all I have for you this morning. I will be back tomorrow morning again at 8 a.m. And as I said before, if you missed it at the beginning of class, Tuesdays are going to be like more of this style, so more like gentle, just stretching, and I'll make it different every week. And then tomorrow is going to be like an active class, a little more energizing, maybe a little more challenging. So hopefully I'll see some of you on the stream tomorrow. It was so nice to practice with you. And I will be here as long as we are in lockdown. So have a wonderful day. Namaste. Please stay safe, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for coming.